What up, world? Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we're going to do an explain and review on the Stranger Level Cassette Complete bike. Before we go into details and tell you all the geometry and who this bike's for and all the little specs and what aftermarket parts it comes with, we're going to tell you how to win some free stuff from our shop by commenting, turning on your notification bells, liking and sharing this video. We also are going to tell you where you can buy this bike and what parts fit on it and a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, let's get to it. So if you're a little familiar with Stranger BMX, you realize that they're making some complete bikes now, and from the looks of it from us is that they're coming out with a bunch of really cool bikes, colorways, and a lot of cool parts that come on these bikes. They did this model last year, and I don't know, they're not really doing years where it's a 2017, 2018. They're kind of a brand that's like just making the bikes, and then as the colors get worn out or they sell out, or I don't know really what they're doing, but they're basically just revamping them and doing different colorways as one sells out or one doesn't do so well. So we think that's a really good idea because as times change, it's always good to keep updated with that, but also too, not putting out too many bikes. So you might have seen this bike last year where it was just in a cassette, but it also comes in a free coaster model. We're not going to talk about that one, we're going to talk about this one at the moment. So yeah, this is basically the new version of the last year's model or the previous model, and the previous model was about $30 cheaper. So they raised the price, but straight off the bat, I can see where they put the money in, and it's definitely some good places and stuff like that. It makes the bike look really dope, and yeah, just a little bit of an upgrade. So yeah, definitely a good move on their part. But people want to know, like, hey, you know what? Where do I start off on, and what kind of bike should I buy? And to be straight up, is start on any bicycle. I'm tired of hearing you guys say, oh, what bike do I buy? Do I buy the expensive one, buy the cheap? Buy anything that you like. If you like the colorway, you like the 4-piece bars on it, you like the free coaster, you like the cassette, just buy it. Get something underneath your feet, because if you don't know which bike you should be getting by now, then you're basically a beginner and you're learning. So the fun thing about learning is just go with what your gut says. Go with what you like, because you're going to be the happiest. Don't go in a store, don't go on our website and just buy what you have, like, as far as the money, or you're like, hey, that's just what's in stock. Really buy what you want, because that's going to make you the happiest. That's going to make you feel like your buy's the most beneficial to you. So if you like that bike that's red, buy that red bike. If you like that bike because it's cheap and you only have this and you're impatient, you want a bike now, buy that bike. If you want something that has 4-piece bars and all the other bikes don't have 4-piece bars, but this one does, and it's not in your colorway, but you like those 4-piece bars that bad, buy that bike. Buy whatever gets you into BMX. I think that's the number one key. We all started off on a crappy bike, so that's created me to be here now. So without me starting on a crappy bike, I want to be here right now. So we expect you to do the same. We encourage you to do the same and go out, buy a bike, have some fun. So even if it's a crappy bike, department store bike, buy it, ride it, upgrade as you need to. So with that said, this is a level bike. Basically, it's an introductory bike. And most of the bikes that we saw on our website, most of the bikes that people buy are introductory bike. It doesn't matter that it's a low-end bike or a high-end bike. It's still introductory. Give me a second, let me turn off this again. So if you want to know what an introductory bike is, it's basically a stock bike that comes in a box. That's an introductory bike. Go with whatever level you can. An intermediate bike is probably going to be something where they've changed out a lot of the parts, most likely the frame and wheels and stuff like that. And then you're looking at a pro build, it's going to be more towards, hey, I don't want anything stock on it. I want to buy frame, forks, bars, stem, and build it all up. So those are the kind of levels. So if you don't know anything about the frames and a lot of other parts, start with something basic and just try out as much stuff as possible. So this bike here is introductory. Going on to the next thing, it comes in a 27.5-inch frame, and people want to know which bikes or which 20-inch bicycle is going to be the wheel size. So the wheel size on these are 20 inches, but there's a second measurement that allows you to kind of fine tune it for yourself, and that comes in the top tube length. So if you notice, there's some really short guys riding some small frames. You see the real tall guys riding their super long frames. That's because they're buying the frame specifically for them. So introductory, a young kid that's, going from like an 18-inch bicycle to a 20-inch, you're gonna want about a 20-inch top tube, or maybe even smaller if somebody makes it. But general rule of thumb, you're gonna go with the 20-inch top tube, and that's center to center here. If you're a little bit taller and you're, let's say like 5'6", 5'8", you're gonna want to do it to 22.5. If you're, 5'8" to 5'10", you're probably going to want about a 20.5. If you're 5'10" to 6 foot, you're probably going to want a 27.5. If you're 6 foot plus, you're probably going to want a 21 or a 21.25. Now again, these sizes of top tube length are just preferences. They're not saying, hey, you have to ride this. Everything is a preference. So some people ride a little bit smaller frame, some people ride a longer frame, and that kind of goes into the riding that you're doing. Our general rule of thumb is if you're riding trails, usually you want a little bit longer frame. If you're riding street, you probably want a little bit shorter frame. If you're riding park, you're probably going to be somewhere in between. So keep that in mind. It's not necessarily like defined to that. That's not going to make you a better rider or worse rider. It's kind of that trial and error. After you ride for a while, you're going to start to know what you like and what you don't like. So, buy a lot of stuff, ride a lot of stuff, check it out, see what fits your style, because that's the main thing. So onto this. Let's kind of go into more of what's going on with this bike. This bike is, like I said, it's an introductory bike, and it's got a lot of introductory parts on it, but it does have a handful of aftermarket parts which make it a little bit higher price range. A lot of the stock bikes are between $370 to about $400, $420, somewhere around there. This one here is a little bit higher, so this is going to be on the higher end of bicycles, but they give you a little bit more aftermarket parts. So let's start off with like the frame and everything. So this is a high tensile steel frame. It's a 20.75 inch top tube, so it's pretty much the average size frame. The 27.5 inch frame is the #1 selling frame for us in aftermarket. So this is going to fit most of the riders. If you're young and you're gonna grow, you want about 2 years out of your bicycle. So if you're young and you're gonna grow tall to almost 6 foot, this is probably the size that you want. If you're gonna not get so tall, you may look for something a little bit smaller, but if you're riding trails and stuff like that, maybe a little bit apart, you might want to go with this one since it's a longer frame that's gonna track straighter. This one comes with integrated headset. It's also got gyro holes drilled into it, so you can add a gyro to this in the future. It comes with the mid-bottom bracket, makes it real nice, and it comes with 14mm dropouts. Also too, it's got removable brake mounts. So on an introductory frame or beginner frame, this is really cool because you can remove those if you decide to go brakeless, which 99% of the riders that are here on our website and watching this YouTube channel probably do. So yeah, check out that feature, that's pretty cool. So on the geometry wise, it's pretty standard. This is going to be a pretty generic frame. You can check out the specs and stuff like that on our website. I don't want to go too much into that. I want to kind of tell you what more of the parts are and stuff like that. So if you're into geometry or something like that, you're probably more advanced. So you're probably going to want to buy an aftermarket bike. If you're into geometry and stuff like that and you're buying a complete bike, you're probably not going in the right direction. You're probably staying stagnant or kind of moving backwards. So if you know a lot about geometry, I would think about getting an aftermarket bike. So let's go on to the next thing. We'll start on the front end and kind of work our way back. So starting off with the grips, this is where you touch your bike first. This kind of links man and machine from grabbing onto the bike, and that kind of gives you the feel of the bicycle. It's kind of like a gas pedal on a car or steering wheel. It's probably more toward the steering wheel. So this is where you feel the vibrations. This is where you ride. And basically, these come with Stranger Quan grips. which are signature grip from Caleb Quanbeck. And from our shop, we've been doing really well with these grips. We've been selling tons of them. A lot of our team riders ride them. A lot of the pros come in and they end up buying these. So these have like a cool rib pattern and a little square or chevron style pattern on them. It comes with the aftermarket bar end, which is black. I don't know, pretty much they're a great grip and it's a great start. Second of all, it's got Hayes replica bars on here. These are a high tensile steel bar. I believe they're 8.75. Let me go check. See if I know. Yeah, that's correct. They're 8.75. I try to stay on point with the geometry, but there's a lot of stuff to remember, so it gets mixed up sometimes. Next off, they got a forged, drop forged stem on here, and this is a Stranger stem. It has a Stranger logo laser etched on the top of the cap. This is pretty standard. It looks like it's 50 millimeters long. It's got about 30 millimeters of rise on it, so it's a pretty average stem. So great to start off on. If you start stripping this, you may want to buy an aftermarket one. But to start off, this is a great stem, good quality. It's going to get you, in a few months and years out of your riding. If you're overriding it, you may want to upgrade in the short future. That's what's cool about this bike is it's designed to kind of swap and change parts. Next up is a headset. It comes with a generic black integrated headset. So that matches the head tube and allows it to run pretty much any fork. So if you need an aftermarket fork, you can swap that out no problem. The next thing is these Stranger forks. They're pretty similar to the ballast fork, but this is going to be a high tensile steel fork with a 5 millimeter dropout and a 3/8 dropout as well. So this will pretty much take any aftermarket wheel. But good geometry on it. But like I said, this is a starter bike. If you break or bend these, you're riding it tough, and you should probably buy some aftermarket forks. So next thing up is the front wheel. The front wheel is pretty dope because it comes with a double wall pinned rim, and then it's got a sealed Stranger front hub. And this one isn't really crazy. It's just got your pretty generic lock nuts on there. It's got a sealed bearing. It's a male 3/8 axle. So this is a great wheel to keep you going, get you started, and rolling smooth. It appears that the lock nuts are pretty nice, so if you end up bending the axle, you probably just bend the axle, not really bend the inner core of the axle and cause it to bind up. So it looks like a pretty good design front hub. So good way to start off on. Next up, what is one of the big things about this bike that we noticed right off the bat is that it comes with aftermarket Primo V-Monster tires. You might have seen it in some of our other videos. We do a little review about these tires. These are one of our favorite tires. So it comes stock with these 2.4 tires in blue with the black sidewall. These are really dope. Check out our other review to find a little bit more info about this. Look on our website. We also have some more info on that in the description. So nice grippy tire, got some good chevron pattern on there, over 100 PSI tire, so definitely a great quality tire. This is an aftermarket tire, so you're adding a lot more value to it, almost $50 in just tires. So at that price range, this is a great feature on this bike, so definitely check those out. Let's move back to the seat. This one has a Stranger Kevlar seat on it. It's actually a seat and seat post combo. So it's got this plastic base on it, and then this aluminum seat post is bonded to it. So it makes it real light. Doesn't have that much. It doesn't have any adjustment to it, so it's going to stay pointed up. But if you look at it, it's got a pretty good slant on it. It's basically how all of us ride it, so that makes it pretty cool. Good starters, but in the end, you're probably going to swap out the seat and seat post and go with the custom. That's what everybody does, so just expect that in the future. Also, too, it comes with these aftermarket J.J. Palmier signature pedals. These have been by far the best-selling pedals that we have. These ones are a cool platform pedal. They have a lot of knurl on them, and they got a lot of pins to grip your shoes. These pins are set offset just a little bit, so pretty much they fit almost any sneaker, any tennis shoe, pretty much any riding shoe. So definitely a good addition to this. And these are aftermarket pedals, so you're not getting a generic pedal or some Well-Go style pedal that's like really crappier is gonna break in the future. It has a 4140 heat-treated chrome ollie spindle in there, so this is what the pros ride, so this thing's gonna hold up. Second of all, it's got these Stranger level cranks. So these have like a crazy bend in the top and the bottom to create them to be a lot stiffer. These are aftermarket crank as well. They're kind of an upgrade from your stock crank, so that makes it real nice. It's got a 4130 chrome ollie crank arms and spindle, and then included is a sealed mid-bottom bracket. This one has some aluminum cones on there to make it nice and smooth. So that's a great feature as well. You always want sealed bearings in there. You always want chrome ollie in your cranks. That's where you're standing on, so you definitely want a lot of strength there. Next up is the steel sprocket. They put a steel sprocket on here because, like I said, this is an introductory bike. You don't want to put a lot of cash into a sprocket because it is pretty hard to make. So they got a steel one that's just stamped so that you can just swap on any sprocket that you want. Next up is the chain. It comes with a Primo chain, and this is a nice chain because it's got heat-treated pins. It's got thicker side plates and thicker, pretty much bushless rollers on there, and it's a good quality chain, and this is aftermarket chain as well, so that comes on there as well. So it makes it real nice. Your chain's probably not going to break with that, so good addition to that. Next up is the brakes. This one comes with some pretty generic brakes, basically make you stop, but if you're really looking for some stopping power, you're probably going to want to do an aftermarket. As a beginner, you're not going to be going as fast or anything like that, so coming with something stock to kind of make up and give you a little bit more for your money other places is kind of the direction. But what's cool is they do have the removable brake mounts because they know a lot of you guys are going to take these brakes off. Then the last thing is this back wheel. The back wheel is real nice. It's got the same double wall pin rim as the front. It's also laced together with stainless steel spokes and brass nipples. And then this one here got a sealed Joytech style rear hub. So that thing's tried and true. It pretty much has been through the ringer and back. So they know that was a good quality hub. I think it was a great addition to this bike to help you get rolling. It's got a 14mm axle on there so you could throw pegs on the back. It's got the 3/8 in the front with the sealed bearing so you could throw pegs in the front. Pretty much like just a dope wheel to start off on and to kind of go in the direction of BMX, get you rolling. But also too, let's kind of go back to this frame a little bit. The frame's got some cool graphics on the front. It's got this new blue world logo style sticker on the front. It's got your traditional Stranger sticker on the down tube. It's got a level sticker on the seat tube with some graphics in there you can't really see. But I think by far the coolest thing about this bike is the fact that this paint looks like it's gloss white, but it's actually a white with a pearl in it. So if you take it outside, you can see the pearl glisten. It's not a crazy pearl, it's very subtle, but it just kind of adds the perfect amount of shine to your bike. So this is pretty dope. Pretty dope complete. I want to give it up to Stranger for making another dope bike. By far, this is one of our favorite bikes. Right out of the box, this bike looks dope. We suggest it to anybody that's looking for a bike that could afford around the $400 to $500 price range. Buy this bike. This thing is fresh. So if you're looking at where you can buy this, you can buy it from our website. On our website, we try to do our best and we try to make everything really easy because these bicycles get so complicated, and we want you to go there and feel confident about buying. So anything on our website, you can buy and slap on this bike without a crazy amount of money of extra parts or anything like that, or it's not, you're not going to get the run around like, hey, that don't fit and this don't fit. but anything that we sell on our website, from the different tires, seat, handlebars, grips, pedals, cranks, all that stuff will fit on this bicycle, and vice versa. If you have this bicycle and you buy this from our site, you can buy any parts on there, and when it shows up in the mail, you can grab those parts and slap them on there and basically hook up your bike and make it your own. So yeah, check out our website. We got a lot of info on there. There's a lot of videos on there. Check out the videos. There's a lot of description on there. If you can share it, we'd appreciate it. And talking about sharing, we want to give you guys a way to win some stuff, so that way we both win. So the easiest way for you guys to win is by sharing with us your love and your support. And the way you do that is we want you to comment in the comments below. I want you to comment subscribe to let everybody else know that they should subscribe to our channel too. I want you to like this video, share it, and then turn on your notification bell. When you do that, it'll enter you into a contest. So when we hit 1,000 subscribers, we're going to give away a parts package from all the brands that we carry here out to one of you guys. So it's going to include tires, pedals, seats, grips, some other stuff like that. So when we hit that many subscribers, we're going to give you a bike. We mainly want you to kind of get involved with our social media and our YouTube channel, and just be a part of this. So everything that you guys comment on there, we read, we take that in consideration, and we try to bring you something new for next time. Also too, when we hit 5K, we're going to give away a free bike retailed at $300. So make sure you share this video. If you have a blog or you also do YouTube videos, make sure you share it, you tag us or anything like that. Send us a little message, let us see your videos, because we'd like to see that. And if you guys help us out, maybe we can work something out in the future and give you guys some products to review on your YouTube. But yeah, give us a shout out. We'll try to do the same for you. Trying to make some dope stuff. So help us get to 1,000 subscribers, help us get to 5K, so that we can give you guys some free stuff. But like I said, this is Stranger Level Complete bike, super dope. It's a great way to start riding BMX, and it's a great way to stay riding BMX because it's got a lot of aftermarket parts. We want to thank Stranger for making such a dope bike, and we want to thank you guys for supporting our shop and just pretty much showing us some love. Thank you, and have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.